you can achieve anything you want. I don't feel there's limitations. If you have a dream, there's nothing that can hold you back. It's just whoever has the most effort and the most, I guess, balls to actually step forward and pursue those dreams and truly believe that you can make it to the top. A lot of people are too scared to actually take that initiative and move forward. And I'm one of the ones that I'll roll the dice every time and I'll take the gamble, but everything is planned. I always think in situations, worst case scenario. That's how I just make my decisions. And I think that's why I've made a lot of the right decisions, because I think, okay, worst case scenario, where is this gonna put me today? And when I get upset about things, or I'm in a situation, I say, is this a life-threatening situation, or is this gonna be a life-changing situation that I'm in? And most of the time we get worked up over things that aren't necessarily life-changing situations or life-threatening situations. We get worked up. So I don't get worked up very often. I don't get very mad about certain things because it's just part of life. You don't get upset about stupid things that we all go through, and I try not to get worked up over situations like that. PO5 Olympia, I think I wanted to quit, honestly. I mean, that night I'm like, I'm done, I'm finished. You know, I made enough money in this business, and you know, I'm just not gonna win this thing. And
I mean, my mother was concerned all the time that I was crazy or something else. My father said to me, he says, why are you training your muscles? Go out and chop wood, do something for people, be useful. Then you will get your muscles, not with these weights and in front of the mirror and idolizing yourself. I heard that all the time, but I didn't listen. Do you know how great it felt that I knew where I was going? Imagine the majority of people don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going, that I'm going to become this bodybuilding champion. I was so relieved, because when you have a goal, when you have a vision, everything becomes easy. But that's rule number one, have a vision. Rule number two is, don't listen to the naysayers. The thing that I heard out of people's mouth was, that's impossible. That can't be done. Now that's very encouraging, isn't it? But you know something? I didn't give a shit. And I did not listen to the naysayers. I didn't listen to them at all. So when someone says, no, this is a stupid idea, you in your mind, you don't have to say it, but in your mind just say this, fuck you, you're an asshole. We have so many of those people that say no and you can't do it, it's impossible. But when you start doubting yourself, that's very dangerous. The best revenge is success. Remember that. Work your ass off. You cannot get around, you have to work and work and work, I can tell you. And it drives me crazy when people say that they don't have enough time to go to the gym for 45 minutes a day and work out. Let me tell you something, when I went to America, I went to college, I went and worked out 5 hours a day, and I was working on construction. Because in those days in bodybuilding there was no money. So I had to go to work. So I worked on construction. I went to college, I worked out in the gym, and at night from 8 o'clock at night to 12 midnight, I went to acting class 4 times a week. So I did all that. There was not one single minute that I wasted. That is working hard. I've never ever had a plan B. And the reason, one of the main reasons why people want to have a plan B is because they are worried about failing. And that's not good. Because people perform better if you don't have a plan B. Hey, we all lose. You have to fail in order to climb that ladder. And winners will fail and get up, fail and get up, fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner. That is a winner. Whoever stays down is a loser. It's okay to fail. Let's just go all out and give it everything that you got. That's what it is all about.
Dream. I was poor because I didn't have anything. I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids. But I was rich because I had a dream. First of all, you have to understand my mentality. I love feeling like an outsider. I never want to be one of a million. There was one thing that I had, and that is a very clear vision of my goal. I developed such a tremendous desire, the desire to make it in life, to achieve big things.
All these times and since 2001, and it seemed like everyone told me, you know, you're wasting your time, you're not going to win, and I persevered and I trained harder and came back every year and came back stronger, and here I am. You know, this is the day that no one thought they'd see. I broke the trend, you know. That's what it's all about. You know, they said the champ can't be taken out. Well, you know what? The new champ's in town. And the Sandow's staying in Las Vegas, and I get to keep my hair.
Jay, will you be back next year to defend this trophy you just won and spent a lifetime trying to get?
Of course. And you know, I just want to thank you know, number one, all the fans. I want to thank Joe Weider. He gave me the opportunity to do all this, and Ben creating the IFBB. It's been a great organization over the years, and you know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, competitive organizations and this and that. You know what? The IFBB is the place, okay? This is where you win the Mr. Olympia. This is what it's all about, okay? And without the NPC, you guys couldn't even get to the IFBB, so I want to thank everyone in that organization. Of course, all the judges, promoters, everyone that helps promote the sport of bodybuilding, because without your support, we can't continue to grow, and hopefully I'm going to do my best to represent. I want to thank all the companies that back me, my major sponsor, Muscle Tech. You guys made this all happen for me. You know, what can I say, you guys? I'm kind of shocked at the moment, and I'm happy, and you know what? It's Miller time tonight.
Jay Cutler, your 2006 Mr. Olympia.
I just want to say, I had most of my family out here this time. Where you guys at?
House lights.
Yeah.
There from Massachusetts.
You know, it made it really special for them to be here, and this one was for you guys. You guys have been coming out every year and seeing me take second place and watching me win in all my own classics. But you know what? This is the sweetest of them all, because this is what I trained for. This was the final chapter of my book, man, to win the Mr. Olympia competition. I've been training for 15 years for this, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Congratulations to Jay Cutler.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Mr. Olympia 2006.
Jay, Las Vegas is yours. Nobody has moved out of their seats. I think they want more from you, buddy.
Get some more shots. All three of them.
What else do I have to say, you guys? What else you want to hear? I think you guys just feel sorry for me for placing, you know, second 4 times in a row. You know, I travel almost every weekend in the off season. I see a lot of faces out there, and you know, it just makes it really special that, you know, you guys say, yeah, I'll see you at the Olympia and this and that, and you know, you guys show up here and you support it. And you know, the last few years, you know, the Olympia moved over here. It used to be at Mandalay Bay, and AMI has done a great job at promoting this. And you know, I think this Olympia is just going to grow and grow, and I appreciate their support. You know, I'm a contracted athlete by AMI. Flex Magazine, Muscle and Fitness, you know, the best magazines out there. So I want to give them a round of applause for another great contest.
I always trained to get strong. Only heavy training makes a guy win Mr. Olympia?
My tunnel consisted in working out, eating, sleeping, making notes, getting ready for a competition. That was my tunnel vision. And around this was lots of stuff going on. With family, with this, with that, but like a horse with the blinkers on, you know? They don't see it. That's the way I did it. So when I got to the gym, I never talked to anybody. I never even look in the eyes of anybody. I look on the floor when I'm in the gym. And I know what I'm going to do. This exercise, this exercise, this exercise, and total concentration on what I'm doing. I'm only going to be there for 40-45 minutes. So I can give it my 100% concentration. Yeah, some people say they train for 2 hours. But they're in the gym for 2 hours, they're not training for 2 hours. They're messing about, they're talking on the phone, whatever, you know, it's not training. If you're training really hard after 45 minutes, you should really want to go home because you don't want to do it anymore. You know? People that come to train with me, we do 5 or 6 sets for legs, and I say to them, do you want to do more? And when they can breathe properly, no. Always, nobody never says to me, no, I want to do more. Because each set is given 100%.
What can separate the guy from first and second and third? It's all up there. That's the key.
The difference was really mental, because sometimes when you have things coming a little bit easy, you're not giving 100%. I give 110% all the time.
I'm going to the gym to get results. Yes! So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get results. Yes! So my thing is I exhaust everything. We're going to go to absolute failure.
The whole thing is about getting in the gym and training hard and lifting weights. That's how I did it. That's how Leigh Haney did it. That's how Ronnie did it. And guys,
natural when he was at the Nationals. I think he was natural when he was on tour with us and everything. If you go back and you look at those photos, for him to accomplish what he's accomplished, being natural like that, you know, placing in the top 10 and stuff, when he did got on the sauce, it just took him to the Mr. Olympia. What made Ronnie Coleman is his lion heart. He's a tough individual. I've never met anyone tougher as Ronnie Coleman. And you can actually see what created him to be 8-time Mr. Olympia. It's this sheer willpower that he has to continue to drive forward no matter what. And he's not a quitter. Ronnie just does not stop, and he took that work ethic, put it into that body of his, trained crazy, and he look what he did with it. And that's what it takes to be a great champion and an 8-time champion and call yourself the king. He certainly deserves that name, so that's a warrior heart mentality. He's a true warrior. He loves the sport of bodybuilding, and you'll never ever see anyone heart, soul, spiritually like Ronnie Coleman. I mean, he's just a beautiful person, powerful man deep down inside of his spirit and his soul. I don't know anybody else in the world that could go what that man is going through right now that wouldn't have already quit and given up. That's what I see. That's exactly what I see. One tough human being, man. So he's the best ever.
Jay Cutler, great genetics, don't get me wrong, but he was not the most genetically gifted or craziest shape Mr. Olympia we ever had. But Jay had something that I would say 80% of bodybuilders don't have. He had the mindset of a champion. The guy was a beast. He just trained his ass off and he really, really pushed hard. Guys, this is a mental sport. It's more mental than anything else. Yes, diet, yes, supplements, yes, training, yes, genetics. But if you don't have the mentality, if you don't have the strong mind, it'll crumble.
The reason Jay Cutler is the best is because Jay Cutler is notorious for his work ethic. He's notorious for getting in every single meal and getting in every single fucking training session. Jay is notorious for crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. That's why he's the best. I think there's guys with better genetics, but I don't think they're willing to do what he did. I don't think they're willing to put in the amount of time and effort and discipline that he put into it. Genetics play a huge part, but work ethic is second to none. And it's not just working harder, but it's working harder all the time. Some bodybuilders know how to be great all the time. They know how to always plug in. This has got to be done. This is how it is. Doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't matter what happened to you. Doesn't matter if you're upset. Those are the guys I think that make it to the very top.
I never wanted to be 300 pounds, but as I progressed and realized that that's what it was going to take to get there, that's the route I took. You know, people used to watch these Ronnie Coleman videos. I remember people emailing me saying, Jay, you're never going to win until you start squatting 800 pounds and bent rowing 400 or 500 pounds. And soon enough I won, and those people never emailed me again.
A lot of sacrifices, man. I put in hard work. I am the most disciplined person you have ever seen. That's why who I am. Mirror number 3 for the blade. That's where you guys need to be when it comes to your diet. Get your mind right, man. Focus.
When I was 10 years old, my father died from cancer. And my father died in 30 days. He died. 10 years after that, my mother died. Cancer. I just started doing a lot of research on health, how to eat. And then that led me into the gym. And in the gym, I found peace because it was almost like a therapy for myself. I didn't want to go to school or anything like this because all the kids were laughing at me in school because I didn't have a father. But I had that gym. You know, and that gym taught me a discipline. It taught me sacrifice. And it just taught me how to trust my decisions. I just took all the passion out into eating, sleeping, and training. So even though I had the pain from my father and my mother dying, I was giving myself something that I could see in the gym. I found something that nobody could take away from me.
Line these guys up, I kill them every year. That's just not even talking shit. I slay them all day. Line them up, I kill them.
But one of the things that people do is knock on Phil Heath and say that Phil's cocky. Well, guess what? How many fucking Mr. Olympias has that guy won? He's got a right to be fucking a little cocky. When you're the best in the fucking world, you can walk around with your head held high with a fucking big Mr. O around your chest, letting people know that you're fucking number one. Yeah, I am fucking Mr. Olympia, and you can't take that a fucking away from me.
I will not be stopped. There is no pain.
1, 2, come on, 3, come on, 4, 5, that's it.
Oh, Dream killer style, mother.
Let's go, Phil.
I'm just so thankful because when I started bodybuilding on October 8th, 2002, I had no idea that I would be standing on this stage one day winning the Mr. Olympia, let alone, you know, being 7-time champion. When I got into this journey, you know, I was, you know, a little bit bitter because I didn't make it playing Division I basketball, and I was trying to find another outlet. And bodybuilding taught me how to be strong mentally, physically, and emotionally through all life's challenges. It taught me how to train hard when no one's in the room, when you're having a bad day, through death, through hardship, through anything that can go wrong, I always had the gym. There would be days I would train by myself or with my fiance, Cherie, and I would be in there dying. I'd be in there dying, looking at those pictures in the gym of Schwarzenegger, of Coleman, of Haney, of Dorian, of everybody. And I would just tell myself, one more set, one more rep, just give it everything you got so you can put yourself in the best position to win. And that's all we can do in life, people. Sometimes life is going to serve you up some curveballs, but I challenge each and every one of you to step in that batter's box and take a damn swing. Just take a swing. And it ain't going to always work out for you. It ain't going to always work out. Look, I just beat some incredible athletes. They are some of the best athletes I've ever competed against. Please give them a round of applause, please. Because they have made this so hard. But I can tell you what, my faith in God, my family, my trainer, Honey Rambod, and Honey always told me, Phil, you have to understand something. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and a measurement of a man is when he gets knocked down, not when he's winning. So I lost a few times. And he always reminded me just to keep on going and be the hardest worker in the room, just like what you say. And when people tell you you can't, you don't look at them. You don't need to look at them. You look in the mirror and you ask yourself, do you give it your all? You look at the mirror and you ask yourself, do you have another rep? You ask yourself, can I go to work when I'm pissed off because I'm about to get fired or something bad happened or lost my girlfriend or whatever it is? You ask yourself, do you have the guts to go after it when no one is watching, no one's patting you on the back, and no one is liking your stuff on freaking social media? If you got the guts to go after it, you can put yourself in best position to win, and that's what I did through this entire prep. It was not easy. A lot of people say, oh, Phil, he's got genetics and this and that. I put that God-given talent to work each and every damn day in the gym. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for the Olympia. I'm so thankful to be a bodybuilder.
When I was 10 years old, my father died from cancer. And my father died in 30 days. He died. 10 years after that, my mother died. Cancer. I just started doing a lot of research on health, how to eat. And then that led me into the gym. And in the gym, I found peace because it was almost like a therapy for myself. I didn't want to go to school or anything like this because all the kids were laughing at me in school because I didn't have a father. But I had that gym, and that gym taught me a discipline. It taught me sacrifice, and it just taught me how to trust my decisions. I just took all the passion out into eating, sleeping, and training. So even though I had the pain from my father and my mother dying, I was giving myself something that I could see in the gym. I found something that nobody could take away from me.